5 minutes slow. It's actually 7:30. So would you please take your seats? If you've got cell phones or papers or anything, please turn them on silent or vibrate. Can you get the door back there? All right, we're going to call tonight's regularly scheduled business meeting for the Village of Broadview to order. And with that being said, I'm going to have the clerk take the roll call now. Mr. Clerk, Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Commissioner, please be seated, sir. Take that up later.
Okay, roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Here.
Trustee Benson.
Present.
Trustee Turner.
Present.
Mayor Jones.
Present.
Trustee McGreer.
Here.
Trustee Morris. And Trustee Brown Reno. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please take a moment of silence. Next item is swearing in of new firefighter Kevin Gay.
Kevin, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, state your name.
I, Kevin Gay,
Having been appointed to the office of fireman
having been appointed to the office of fireman
in the fire department of the Village of Broadview
in the fire department of the Village of Broadview
in the county of Cook
in the county of Cook
in the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of fireman
the duties of the office of fireman
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Sir, thank you very much.
Part of our swearing-in ceremony is we pin the badge on the new recruit, the new firefighter. Kevin's dad, the captain in the Grange Fire Department, so we thought it'd be so fit that his dad would. All right.
Thank you, Captain. I'll do it again.
Item number 2 on the agenda, public comment.
Joyce Lewis is first.
Good evening. I'm Joyce Lewis from Broadview, and my questions this evening are concerning the insurance for the water main in the residence property. I have questions about how the company that is using the Broadview logo and the mayor's endorsement was vetted. What was the research? What's the history of the company? What's the likelihood of them being a long-range insurance provider if we're going to invest premiums with them and expect that at some future date there'd be protection and coverage. And if we have additional questions. Is this something that is working through the water committee, or how do we find out more before investing in this insurance program?
Okay, is that it? Thank you, we're gonna address that tonight. Shirley Redmond.
Good evening, residents. Shirley Redmond at 2246 24th Avenue. One of the things that I have a chance to participate in is the Broadview Food Pantry. And June 29th, they're going to have the hunger walk for the from the greater Chicago Food Depository that kind of funds a lot of the food pantries for many of the things that they do all year long. Broadview Food Pantry depends a lot on it. Also, they have an increase in rent and they need money to pay rent, and it is a big undertaking for them. How can you help? You can help by making a donation. I do have cards that if you want to make a donation, write to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. You can write that check out and then put the ID number of Broadview Food Pantry on it. I have it on the card. And send it to the food pantry, or you can send it to the Greater Food Depository. Either way, each group will give you a tax letter, which many of you gave last year. You should have got a tax receipt for your donation. You can also, if you don't want to do that and you just want to write a check, I'll be happy to take it and give it to them. I've done that, and I've given, everybody's got a tax receipt. You can participate in the walk if you like. If you do, each person that participates gets, the food pantry gets $15. Either way, we want to keep this thing going. It's about 130 residents that get food from the food pantry twice a month. We're open every day. And we're in the Community Presbyterian Church right on 20th and Roosevelt. So if you want information, I have it. I'll be happy to give it to you. And whatever you can do to help would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, Ms. Redmond. Ms. Yancey.
Good evening. I have two concerns. One of my concerns is that I've noticed in the last 3 or 4 weeks that there's been a lot of young people moving about the village, up and down the street, with pit bulls that don't have a lease on them. And these people are walking all times of day and night. And it's a little scary, okay? Because we seniors don't have no idea what's going on. The other thing that I'm concerned about is the grass that's growing up on people's property. It's not being cut. And as I go through the village, I've been writing down addresses where the grass is exceedingly high. And I do have a list here that I will give to you. And that's just a partial list.
You been all over town?
Not all over town, just a couple streets, just a few streets.
Okay.
The other thing that I'm concerned about is that we have people moving into Broadview who are coming in from the city, and they're bringing their city waste with them. In other words, they're bringing the wrong kind of activity into our village. I know for a fact, because I've seen right down the street from me, people are selling drugs. So I need our policemen to be more aware. And I do see them coming up and down the street, but they're not watching. They're not looking at anything. They're just keeping their eyes on the road. They're not seeing what the people are doing. And I think that's a problem. Okay? So I really don't want our village to turn into a Maywood. Because if I wanted to live in Maywood, I'd move to Maywood. Okay? Thank you very much.
Yes, Ms. Yancey. Thank you very much. She's over by the library. Ms. Joreen Gordon.
Hi. I'm here to make a comment about Trustee Brown Marino, who again is not showing up for the regular business meeting, but did show up for the special hearing that was held regarding the residency of one of our other trustees, which was proof that she was a resident of our village. Brown Marino seems to generate a lot of legal bills because of filing frivolous lawsuits. that unfortunately the village is then responsible for defending against it. And there's something that needs to be done. That type of behavior is uncalled for in this village, and it's uncalled for from an elected representative of the village. And she's certainly not representing anybody. She's not fulfilling her duty. She's not doing the things that she's supposed to be doing. And action should be taken against her because she is not doing her job. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. I'll take all that under advisement. Mr. Clerk, that concludes the public comment section.
Third item on the agenda is consideration to approve the following minutes, May 20, 2013.
Has everyone got the minutes? Have you all taken a look at them?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody can make a motion.
Make a motion to approve with some corrections, please.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by trustee Benson and probably seconded by trustee Abraham to approve the minutes with some corrections. Trustee Benson, you want to articulate the correction?
Just some of the questions that I take notes every board meeting, and I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Under unfinished business on page 2, I have A was me, was a motion was made by Benson Abraham, but I have for B and C, those two were struck. The motion was made by Morris and Turner. So if we could look into that to make sure that that's correct, what I have written here versus what you have. The next thing I've already told you, business licenses, we're already discussing those. So you can make comments under the business licenses and that will be the last page for the board. Letters G and H. We always have discussion as to what the businesses are, what services that they do offer to the community. And also on the last page, under application for the authority to expend funds, I do have there that a motion was made. And the motion was made by Turner and seconded by Abraham, and it was passed. So if you could look into that to make sure that motion does appear on the minutes, those are the corrections that I do have.
Okay, so noted. Any other questions or comments on the minutes from any of the board? Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Turner?
None.
Trustee McGriff? None. Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, would you provide the corrected copy of the minutes to the rest of the members by the end of the week? Next agenda item, sir.
Next agenda item is consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of $641,277.77.
Make a motion to approve.
A second. Probably motion by trustee Abraham and probably second by trustee McGriff. Finance got a report?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The vendor list starting with AT&T was $7,306.49. A V-Shop, Hiding, Izaki, $4,000. Blue Cross Blue Shield, $125,925.66. Brothers Asphalt Paving Incorporated, $101,517.46. Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, $114,021.79. Commonwealth Edison, $2,959.73. Group Industries Inc., $40,837.98. Edwin Hancock Engineering, $72,364. Chino's Heating and Plumbing, $16,350. Greg Batelli, $4,750. Guardian Life Insurance, $7,578.22. James Grace, $4,500. J. Narduli Concrete Incorporated, $62,023.50. Law Offices of Philip M. Fornero, $30,742.23. MFA Construction Inc., $8,256.20. Michael R. Connolly, $3,562.50. Nightcore Gas, $2,672.56. Werner Moran LLC, $13,082.72. The subtotal of vendors over 2,500 is $622,000. $451.04. The total expenditures is $641,277.77, and the percent of the total is 97%.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Any questions or corrections on any of the bills that are included in the warrant list from the trustees? Trustee McGreer?
None.
Trustee Turner?
No.
Trustee Benson?
No.
And Trustee Abraham?
None.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, may I have a roll call on this motion?
Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
Trustee Benson,
Yes.
Trustee Turner,
Yes.
Trustee McGreer,
Yes.
Trustee Morris is absent, and Trustee Brown Marino is absent.
Okay, and that motion passes to pay all the bills on the warrant list for this pay cycle. Mr. Clerk?
Next item on the agenda, village report. Reports from village officers will be at the next meeting. Item number 6, communications. We have a presentation from Beckley.
Equity? Where are they at? They are here.
So they
Gentlemen, go back.
Yeah, tell them they're up.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. Hi, my name is Scott Mearman. I'm representing the company by the name of Equity. And with me tonight is Ryan Murphy, and also 2 representatives from Checkers, one being Eric Hawkins, the operations manager. We're here to discuss and just make an initial presentation regarding the development of the northeast corner of 17th and Roosevelt Road in your village into a Checkers prototype restaurant. And I'm sorry we were rushed, but these are renderings in a site plan showing the proposed Checkers restaurant, which would be a prototype consistent with the rest of their restaurants around the country. It's a small building, 938 square feet, and it's primarily a drive-through and a walk-up restaurant. There's going to be 6 dining tables on the outside patio for good weather, and otherwise the patrons would either come up and walk up to the window and take their food away, or they would go and circle through with their car, pick it up, and either park or drive off. What we're proposing to do is to develop the entire corner. And just to give you an idea, the projected sales of this facility are roughly $1.4 million. And it will employ 25 to 30 people from the community, both full and part-time. We expect the project's going to cost us somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 million. But we are here just to get your initial reaction for this, and just to say hi and take it one step at a time. There are some special use permits that we would need for the drive-through, and there's some details that we would need to work out with the city with the village regarding the streetscape. The plan that was attached to those drawings and the rendering are as close as we can get to the conformance of the Roosevelt streetscape plan as we know it. But I'm sure that there's going to be additional conversations that are going to be necessary with your village plan, Mr. Upshaw and his consultants.
Okay. Is that it?
No, just a little bit about Checkers. Checkers serves hamburgers, french fries, and milkshakes. They have over 100 restaurants worldwide operating under the name of Checkers and Rallies. Primarily now they are concentrated in the Northwest Indiana area. There are 2 in the metro area. There's one at 55th in the Dan Ryan and one at South Holland. We have one shop that's under construction that's opening next week, the 12th. The 13th? Thank you. The 13th of June at 4320 North Avenue, West North Avenue. We have another one that's under construction at 115th and Halsted. We are pulling permits, we are applying for permits, building permits, this Thursday in Bellwood for Manheim and St. Charles Road. And we have received preliminary approval through the Chicago ZBA zoning board for 2 locations, one on Marquette and Halsted and the other one at Independence and Roosevelt. Next month, no, I take that back. This month, we are going for 6700 West Archer. And we have 4 more in development. So Checkers is coming back, and they are coming back strong, and they'd like to be in your village.
Okay.
Any questions?
Well, that's what we're going to get to. We'll start with Trustee McGriff first.
Thank you for your presentation. What special use variances will you be asking for?
I believe that a special use is required for a drive-through restaurant.
What other ones?
That should be, I think that that's it, because parking, we conform to the parking according to the plan. And I think that that's it, the drive-through function.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Turner.
I know there used to be a Checkers in Bellwood, a Manheim, and I think Washington. So what makes that Checkers going to be any different from this new Checkers? What is new, more new, I guess, for this Checkers than the previous Checkers?
The previous Checkers was owned and operated by a franchisee. These are going to be corporate shops. They're going to be owned corporately. Checkers is out of Tampa, Florida. They started in Mobile, Alabama back in the 80s, and they merged with Rallies, and it wasn't performance. Why they left Chicago? It wasn't performance. It was a tiff or a riff, something between the franchisee and Checkers corporate. So these are going to be corporately owned shops and operated.
And what will your hours of operation be?
I'll defer to Eric.
Open at 10 a.m. Sunday to Thursday, we'll close at 3 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll close at 5 a.m.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Trustee Benson.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Actually, I did have one of the questions she had, but first, can I get your name and your 2 representatives again? I missed that.
Oh, my name is Scott
Scott?
Neerman,
Okay.
N-I-E-R-M-A-N,
Uh-huh.
and I'm with Equity.
And what is Beckley doing?
Equity is the preferred developer. We're the developer. Our client is Checkers.
Okay.
Mr. Hawkins is the regional operations manager.
Is that Eric?
Yes.
Okay, Eric Hawkins
Yes.
of Checkers,
Yes.
Regional Director.
Correct. And Ryan Murphy is also with us tonight. He's the principal of Equity. Ryan Murphy.
Sit right there.
Where is he at?
I can sit right there.
Sorry.
I'm going
I'm looking at him.
to leave business cards.
Okay.
Let's step up to the front, Ryan. Don't be bad.
Make it easier.
Oh, yeah.
And you got 2 people here from Checkers.
Yes, I'm sorry. We met briefly. I can't.
My name is Derek Terry. I be operating a store on North Avenue, Carson, which stays open June 13th.
North Avenue, Carson, is that the 4320 location?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's Chicago. That was another question of mine, what area? All right. You said, okay. My question, go ahead.
I have one more question. When do you think you would start developing? if we voted yes and to go ahead, we would like this here, when would you start developing and how long will it take?
Well, to develop the plans, 60, 90 days, the permits, I don't know how long that'll take, and then the construction period is about 18 months. Right now, we're projecting, we would hope to be open by the end of the year. 18 weeks. 18 weeks, I'm sorry, 18 months. 18 weeks. It's called delayed.
It's okay, it's okay.
But we would hope to be open shortly after or before the first of the year. I mean, we're trying to fast track and develop these as quickly as possible.
Well, my question was actually the same question she had asked at first, you know, what happened, because there was a Checkers in Maywood on Roosevelt Road. And I just didn't understand what happened with the business, why it went away. And I've seen like a lot of the Checkers that went away, but now you did answer, you said that they're coming back. They had some type of, I guess, disagreement between corporate and the franchises. And so that's why they all just kind of left.
That's my understanding, yes.
And you said 1.4 million in sales, but 1.4 million to do the project.
Well, we're still narrowing down our budget. I mean, we're still owning it, but it's somewhere between 1.45 and 1.5 as it stands now.
Do you do some type of survey to see what communities would react better with this type of business?
As part of the due diligence and part of the site selection, yes.
You do?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were coming tonight. Or else I would have asked these questions ahead of time. And I'm pretty sure I got more questions, but, hey.
You'll have my contact information.
Yeah. I'm gonna let it go for that at that point. That's all the questions I got for now. I do have Ryan's card.
And you'll have mine.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Trustee Benson. Trustee Abraham?
Yes, good evening, and welcome, and thank you for the next presentation, and I'm glad you're interested in our community and getting this business up and running at that corner. It's an awesome corner to be developed. My questions are, looking at this blueprint here, you have parking, that's the municipal lot, correct? Are you going to be redoing that, resurfacing it?
That would be part of the project, yes. We would be refurbishing it and landscaping it, lighting it.
Restriking it.
Restriking it all is part of the development, yes.
Okay, because you said you mentioned in the beginning that you want to develop the entire lot, so that would include our municipal lot?
Yes.
To conform to look, okay. And then also there's additional parking spaces from what I'm looking at. It says 16, 17, 18. Is that the additional back behind the building?
Yes.
Okay. And then how far will you be extending, right to the alley, the property line?
To the property line, the parking spaces would be on the property line, and the access would be through the alley.
Okay. Okay, and then there's a corner part. Is that your the garbage type area that's going to be enclosed? Is that what I'm looking at?
At the northeast corner, yes, there's 2 dumpsters.
Okay, and then how much lighting on this property, since your hours of operation are till 3 a.m. to 5 a.m.?
So it'll be a nice, well-lit lot. I can't tell you where the part, the plan does show light standards, but I can't tell you where they are. But
Yeah,
yes,
it's on your color photo. It's not. It's not there. Just other than our street lights. That's what I was kind of asking with the lighting of the facility and the lot and everything else. Okay. Was there any other additional things you were going to be doing to enhance that property? You said you're going to do a lot of greenery, correct?
Yes, we conform to the Roosevelt streetscape.
Okay.
You're going to provide a more detailed presentation, correct? Or is this it?
Oh, no, we would come back.
Oh, so
here.
This would be just
All right, that's good.
Yeah, but you have.
My servant is on the
Question, you said the entrance would be through the alley? Is that the
The
only?
access to the park.
Oh, the access to the parking, okay.
On that one side of the building.
You can enter from one of them.
Right. There's different entrance and exits, correct? That's I think the clarity.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is all very premature. What will happen is they'll work with Mr. Upshaw, and then if they require any variances or special use permits,
Trustee Abraham, does that include your question?
I'm fine with this project.
I don't have any questions. I've talked to him exhaustively along with Mr. Upshaw in the office. He's come back here 4 or 5 times with a couple of different scenarios, you know, and we turned the building around probably 4 or 5 different times to try to make it fit on that square. And all I would say is, you know, the corner of 17 and Roosevelt has been a vacant lot for a while. They're prepared to purchase the property from a private owner and put the checkers there. They just don't want to come to Broadview. Broadview doesn't want them, so to speak. So I asked them to come out, present the fact that they want to be here, let everybody know that they're interested in the property, and just see why, you know, whether we had any kind of interest in having them in town. As it relates to how they picked Broadview, I asked similar questions. They did a study. And what happened to the previous, because as I understand it, all of those checkers in the western Chicagoland area were owned by one particular individual, and he had his own personal situation, and thus all the ones in the Chicagoland area ended up closing, without getting into a whole lot of details. But I think it's a great idea, and I'm glad that you guys came out. I'm glad that you guys came out to support them, even if you're on the west side, it's all right with us. But thanks for the presentation. You got anything you wanted to add?
Except thank you, Mayor. I think this is going to be a win-win for the village and for Checkers.
Yeah.
Better, you know, more tax revenue, both sales and real estate.
Yeah.
We look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure they'll have more questions down the road as they get your cards, you know. And thanks for coming out, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mr. Clerk?
Item number 7, we have no old business. Item number 8, we have no consent agenda. Item number 9, new business. A, consideration of an ordinance adopting the June 2013 prevailing wage rate.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been probably motioned by Trustee McGriff, probably second by Trustee Abraham. And what this ordinance is basically the village adopting the Cook County prevailing wage for June 2013. And actually these prevailing wages change from year to year in cycles. And because we're a government entity, we have certain requirements under the law to abide by the prevailing wage act. Mr. Attorney, have I missed anything?
You haven't, Mr. President. I would just add that we apologize for needing them to today, but they just came out today.
Oh, you just got it?
We just got, Cook County just released them today, so we emailed them as soon as we sent them out.
You guys were actually on schedule this time. Okay, any questions or comments from the members of the board? Trustee McGriff?
None.
Trustee Turner?
None.
Trustee Benson? None. Trustee Abraham?
No.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing no opposition, that motion will carry and become part of the record. We've adopted the prevailing wages for this year.
B, consideration of a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Office of the Comptroller to permit the village to participate in the state offset program to enable the village to collect debts from debtors who receive payments from the state of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Probably motion by Trustee McGriff, probably second by Trustee Benson.
No.
Who, Turner?
Turner and Abraham.
Turner and Abraham. Y'all said it so fast. Second by Turner, then, okay. Does anybody have any questions on this one?
No.
I'll explain it to the public if they have not seen it. This particular resolution, an intergovernmental agreement with the village and the state of Illinois, allows us to be able to retrieve funds owed to the village of Broadview from individual tax returns submitted to the state of Illinois. It allows us to have a position in there that if in fact you owe the village of Broadview, we can confiscate money from your taxes, your state taxes that you have filed with the state. Not sales tax, state tax. Right. Your personal income tax. Right. Yeah, right. So if there's no questions, I'll entertain a vote. So all in favor? No, you don't need to roll call for this one.
We don't do roll call? Oh,
No, we're not spending any more. It's just an agreement, right?
All right, well,
Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, the motion carries to approve the intergovernmental agreement. It's okay.
C, consideration of a motion terminating the sewer and water line agreement.
Is there no motion? Hearing no motion on this particular agenda item, we're going to allow it to drop off the agenda for the time being. We're going to move on to the next agenda item. Mr. Clerk.
Application for the authority to expend funds, $2,545.87.
Make a motion to approve.
A second.
It's probably motion by trustee Abraham and probably second by trustee McGreer to approve this expenditure of funds in the amount of $2,545.87. Who's got the report?
I can report on both of these. Yeah.
You got one for the police department?
Yeah, this is, the first one for the police department is in the amount of $890. And this is to the International Association of Chief of Police. This is for our chief, our deputy chief, Kevin Wagner, and our resource support, Jose Camacho, to attend the IACP conference on October 19th through the 23rd in Philadelphia. That's for $890.
Okay. President, comments from the members of the board? What's the second?
The second one, Mr. Mayor, is for $1,655.87 to Salisbury Industries. This is for the purchase of horizontal mailboxes for the village administration here. Currently, we have open mailboxes, and in the past, there may or may not have been problems either receiving mail or missing mail. So this will alleviate that problem by giving us locked horizontal mailboxes.
Okay. Questions from any members of the board? Have you all seen all of this? Okay. With no questions, yeah. For everybody.
This will replace ours and all the departments for everybody.
I thought it was just public works.
No.
Just so everyone knows, the mailboxes that we have are basically slots where you just drop the mail and they're accessible to anyone walking through the area back there. The trustees' mailboxes have huge slots that you can almost put your hands in, and almost any key can open up all of those boxes. And periodically, people find that they're missing items for one reason or another. Either they got put in the wrong box or somebody grabbed the wrong thing. These are just boxes that actually have individual locks. They give you access to slot the mail or the information in, and then the individual has an opportunity to get it. And that covers all the departments. It includes the police department, the fire department, all the trustees, all of our commissioners, our zoning board, the attorneys, the collector, and everyone involved in the village. So this will cover everybody's mailboxes. And they're all going to be in one central location.
My comment, like I said, I thought it was just for the public works, and I didn't agree with it because I have been one that has been missing mail, even when my department heads are calling me, telling me, hey, you got mail in your box, I come out here, and there's no mail. So I'm like, what's going on? I lost a lot of mail, so I don't know where it's going, or people are mistakenly taking it, but that's a good one.
Yeah, I asked Public Works to actually submit the work order and the purchase on their budget. I kind of finagled a lot of administrative budget.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Because I was wondering.
Yeah, that's what that is. Any other questions? All right, Mr. Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Benson.
Yes.
Trustee Turner.
Yes.
Trustee McGreer.
Yes.
Trustee Morris is absent, and Trustee Brown Marino is absent.
Next agenda item, Mr. Clerk.
Next agenda item, committee reports. Finance Committee, Trustee Abraham.
Good evening, residents. Hope everyone's well. Good tonight with our weather. I have a quick report. This past week, I was able to sit down with our collector, Donna Barber, and pretty much go over the day-to-day operations of what goes on with the, the window and how we service our residents and just how things are done and what safety issues we have implemented regarding just different things within our offices back here. So again, it was very informative. I will continue to meet with different individuals, such as our budget officer, Tom Wood, and our finance director, Jan Baptist. Currently, obviously, they're working on the budget for this upcoming year. I also will be meeting with our department heads, kind of see where they're at and what they're in line and what their wish list is and what their future is. Because obviously, with the finances, I want to make sure that we're being responsible and that, and from speaking with my fellow trustees, we want to be accountable. We want to provide great services to the community. Obviously, we're looking at the manpower issues. So again, that falls under us being, creative and looking at different ways. When speaking to Trustee Morris and Trustee McGreer, again, we're looking at our invoices and making sure that we're being responsible again for you. So that's the end of my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Abraham.
Business Committee, next report, Business Committee, Trustee Benson.
Good evening, everyone. Like I said, I didn't know that representatives from Checkers were coming out tonight. I did think the presentation was very good. Of course, it's a lot to think about. So they're not here. I was just going to thank you for coming out. The last comment that I had tonight is I wanted to tell our clerk that he is doing a good job. When I walked in today, I had everything that I need already in order and bound together. I'm not used to getting that type of treatment. I appreciate it. You're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Benson.
Next item, Building and Public Property, Trustee Turner.
No report tonight.
Thank you, Trustee Turner.
Next report, Streets, Sidewalks, and Alleys, Trustee McGreer.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mayor, I have no report, but I do want to echo Trustee Benson's comment to the clerk. You are a very welcome addition to the team, and again, everything is in order finally, and we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Fire,
Thank you,
Police.
Trustee McGreer.
The next two reports, Fire, Police, and Civil Service. Trustee Morris is not here.
Does anyone have anything for the fire and police department?
I do not.
Report? There's nobody from the fire department or police department here? Okay.
Next report, Water, Drainage, and Health, Trustee Brown Marino.
Anybody?
No report for her.
No report for her, right?
Next report, Village Clerk, myself. First of all, thank you. And I'm learning, we're putting processes in place, and I know as I work with all of you, bear with me, I'm learning. But our goal is to get things moving smoothly, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Final report, Village President.
Mr. Clerk, I'm not impressed. You would be all right, okay? That's all I can say. I will say this though, it is refreshing to actually get the stuff, before the meeting. So, but earlier tonight there were a couple of concerns that were out there. Ms. Lewis made mention about the water main insurance and why we chose them. They were vetted. They actually provide the same insurance for some other municipalities, and they came recommended through the West Central Municipal Conference of Mayors. About 30 mayors were there. The services is needed. We have an infrastructure that in many cases is 60 years or more old because when your houses were built, your piping going to connect to the village piping was built at the same time. And if you haven't had a break, you are in danger of having a break. It's just the fact that the stuff wears out. There are other companies out there that provide the same service. You're not bound to this particular company. They just ask that we endorse them and put them on our letterhead, to submit it to all of you all, let you all know that it's a good project. In the meantime, there are other companies out there. We're going to be providing you with additional names of other companies that provide the same or similar services so you can compare and contrast in your shopping. It is insurance, and just like you've got a lot of different insurance agencies out there, you should have the opportunity to investigate your own insurance for those purposes. So, and it covers the line from our system, from our meter to your house, and from your house to our meter. So that's what it's for. It's not for anything beyond the meter. That's the village's responsibility. There was another comment made as relates to tall grass. Ms. Yancey, I just handed Dave Upshot the list of the addresses that you gave. That's a building department issue. If the properties are vacant, it's a process that we got to go through, and the process is about 30 days long. You tell me, Dave, if I say something out of order here. And it requires us to notify the owner of the property and give them an opportunity to cut the grass. It also allows us to ticket them and actually fine them for having the tall grass. The issue with that is that we end up spending time ticketing them. We spend the resources going out there ticketing them. They cut their grass, they come to court, and it's a wash because you can't hold them accountable once they comply. So compliance is a defense in that case. If the property is vacant though, and they don't come out and cut it, and we take it over and we do the cutting, then we have the opportunity to build back the owner of the property. And we have numerous, how many houses do we have on our list, Dave?
Currently, we have about 42.
We actually cut and maintain 42 houses throughout the village of Broadview right now. We pay the initial cost for the maintenance of the properties, the cost of the cutting of the grass, and the cost of the repairing of the fences or whatever. We maintain a record of that, and then at the sale of the house, then we submit that and we get paid. We get first position in payment. So we get reimbursed at the sale of the property for all our expenses that are incurred during the interim time while there's nobody in the house. So if you do see a house, because we're not everywhere, we're not that big, if you do see a house, just let us know. We'll get out there. It's not going to get cut tomorrow. Just want you to know it's not going to get tomorrow because it's a process. We had to notify the owner, and they had to have an opportunity to cut the grass. The young people walking through town, I'm well aware that, I know that that's a problem throughout the town. The police are well aware of it. As a matter of fact, I met with the chief and the deputy chief today discussing your exact concerns because I got a message on my door today and last week, and we've got a couple of complaints about it from a couple of different individuals. They are aware of the situation, but that too, there's a process. They can't just go and barge in, and go and arrest people. In order to be effective, they've got to gather enough intelligence and enough information to be able to make a solid case. Otherwise, you go over there, you arrest somebody, and they're out tomorrow. And that's not what you want. You want to get it and get the whole cancer cured. So, and as it relates to moving in of new residents and everything, today's environment does not lend one to walking up to their neighbor and being a neighborly. People don't want to talk to you. Some do, some don't. And that's just a chance that we have to take. And encourage them to contact the village if they're not aware. A lot of these people have never owned houses before. A lot of these individuals have never, housing market has never been such that they were able to afford the purchase of a house, and where they come from, they've never had to cut grass. They've never had to fix the fences. They've never had to paint their gutters or repair gutters or anything like that, so they don't know. And I don't hold that against them. They don't know, so we have to help educate them. We're all one community. We're all attached at the hip, So if you see it and if you got a concern about it and you feel uncomfortable approaching them, let us know. We'll send in one of the inspectors out there and we'll have a face-to-face conversation with them and let them know the expectation of homeownership in the village of Broadview. As it relates to some other issues, the police made arrests over the weekend with 4 felony charges, including the confiscation of drugs and guns within the village of Broadview. Knock on wood, we still have had no murders in Broadview, so we're doing pretty good otherwise. And I'm glad that O'Reilly is being built on 17th, so you got O'Reilly going up, and I'm glad that Checkers is interested in coming here. And there are some other entities that are in the conversation, but I'm not going to bring them to the village board until they're at the point where they're ready to do something. Checkers is already way down the road. They've already been negotiating their contract. They've already negotiated the purchase price on the property. They just want to make sure that, we want them to be here on that corner. So that's all I have. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's session.
Motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
Motion by McGreer, second by Abraham. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none. Tonight's meeting is adjourned.